Thanks to Reolink for sponsoring this video. Head to my link in the description to visit Reolink's smart security cameras. These products are a great addition to your security, whether indoors, outdoors or off-grid, and living on a narrowboat like me. There was a rave on last night, not too far away from here, and I talk on this video about towpath, pattern of life, towpath traffic. There was an awful lot of young people walking down the towpath, so I stayed awake. I had a what we can class a little bit of an issue last night. Not much of one, but a bit of an issue. You see, all the kids came from that way and they went that way, and the rave was somewhere over there. The rave was broken up about 1 o'clock by the police, and all the kids then came from that way this way. Good couple of hundred of them, and by and large they were well behaved because they were en masse. But then you had the stragglers, the tail end Charlies, that happened about an hour later, and unfortunately I was in bed. And some lunatic decided he wanted to clamber all over my boat. It wasn't that bad because he decided to climb on top of my boat, but didn't want to damage the solar panels, which I'm grateful for. The noise of him moving the solar panels and dodging them woke me up, so I gave him a little bit of a "Oi, what you doing" type of thing. He jumped off. He goes, "I was doing press-ups on your boat, mate." It's kind of like if you had a new car and someone's jumping all over it. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to have a pop at him, aren't you? And I was quite prepared to have a pop at them. And there was about 4 or 5 of them. And, well, do you know what? If I had to get my outside clothes on, I'd have got my outside clothes on and done something about it. But fortunately, he went away. Now, if I had an outside camera, would I have been able to do much? Would it have collected the information I require? Would the fact the light had been on made a lot of difference? I don't know. Possibly. Something for me to review, but this was, to my mind, a one-off thing caused by a load of people that were at a rave and people showing off to their mates. Fact of life, one of those things that happen. Had I not been on the boat, don't know. The fact is I was on the boat and I was able to use a bit of UMS, unnecessary military shouting, which was necessary at the time and did a reasonable job, to be honest. Anyway, this video is about security of a narrowboat on the towpath, on the canals. This is my first instance in a year. I'm not overly bothered. I take it for what it is. A bunch of kids showing off to somebody else, and then he got shouted at and they ran away. So run the VT. This is Joe on his bike. He's one of the good guys. I like Joe. Let's talk security. It's one of those things where it was a massive consideration, anxiety, when I started this journey on moving on the boat, living on the boat. And there have been some tubers that have tubed, one in particular about having a narrowboat sort of broken into. And let's forget the narrowboat, having their home broken into, because essentially for me this is what it is. So big point, and I'm going to discuss it. You see, sometimes when you park up, moor up, you're in the middle of nowhere. Now that's a good thing, and maybe not. It's a good thing because the foot traffic is minimal. So the only people walking down the towpath will be dog walkers and greyhound. People out with their families for an afternoon stroll or something like that, which by and large is pattern of life on the towpath. You may get the odd cyclist, but generally speaking, not a lot of foot traffic. So that means the likelihood of someone walking past your boat and thinking, oh, I wonder what's on the inside of that, is negligible. But of course, you're in the middle of nowhere, so if someone wanted to have a look on the inside of your boat, there's very little chance of them being caught. So one of the things I do to negate people looking on the inside of your boat and thinking, oh, that looks nice, apart from the paintwork on the outside and how well the boat's kept and things you can't control, but what you can control is to put these things on, the bungs or the shutters or the curtains or whatever you do to stop people peeking in. Some people have fairy lights on the inside of the boat to make it look as if you're in when it's night time. I look like Uncle Albert, don't I? From Fools and Horses. If you don't know what that is, have a look at Fools and Horses, Uncle Albert. So sometimes when I've been going away, I've always had someone close by who's able to look after my boat. But of course, they're only looking after it from a distance, not actually in it. And it's not a 24-hour service. So whilst that's a good thing, it comes with an element of risk. But then you can also moor in a more congested area where there's lots of boats around, and that's safety in numbers, and that's not a bad thing. Almost free security, but it's not quite 100%. And let's understand, nothing is quite 100%. I mean, if you wanted to totally secure the boat, and let's say not totally, but almost, then don't have any windows, don't have any doors. In fact, I've seen, well, you need a door to get in, clearly, but I've seen a boat with no windows, no front door, bow door, and only a stern door, which is probably welded up and needs to be unwelded. Big bar going across it and all that sort of stuff. So when you're in a busy area like I am now, which is on the outskirts of London, and you've got a busy main road up there, and footfall from an outer Greater London area can be quite diverse. There are threats. Nothing drastic, I don't think, because you look at the pattern of life, and I still have the same pattern of life on this towpath as I do on any other towpath, but it is busier. So I've been looking at security cameras, but at the time that I was considering this, a company called Reolink got in touch with me, and Reolink very kindly sent me through one of these things. It's a Argus, ARG that 3 Pro, and also a small little solar panel, so it can charge itself up through the power of the sun. So I thought I'd give them a go. Very kind of Reolink to give me that. So here's some technical specifications. Let's have a look in the box. The instructions. And inside you have a holder thingy jobby which can just sit anywhere you like in the house, really. A strappy type thing. A USB for charging on electric. Something to secure it to the wall, and the camera itself. On the bottom there is where you put the micro SD card, and that is for charging it up by electricity or of course the solar panel. Reolink is a leading company in the security camera tech industry, providing eco-friendly monitoring solutions for various security needs, whether indoors, outside, encompassing off-grid living, and works with or without Wi-Fi. It is designed to have crystal clear video, which is kind of important, because if someone's coming into your boat that you don't want to come in, sneaking around, that you can provide sufficient evidence for Dibble to investigate. The Home Secretary in the UK has recently stated that all crimes involving theft, where there is a reasonable chance of investigating it and coming to some form of fruition, must be investigated. So to have crystal clear video is a good thing. Now, boats, let's not deny it, are getting better at security, but of course nothing is 100% secure. You can smash windows, as has been done. You can just cause damage, which has been done. But to get inside a boat, you can't stop it. But what you need to do is try and negate it and provide the evidence. And I believe the cameras that I've got here from Reolink does a good job. You see alarms when someone passes the sensor. You get a message on your phone. I've got a new phone, by the way. See that? Nice picture. I wonder whether you've seen that before. And then the phone talks to the camera, and you can have a two-way conversation with the person. And it can alarm, and it has a light that shines bright. So all these little things, hopefully, will, if someone does get on your boat, will be able to provide the evidence that you require to give Dibble to investigate. Not only does it pre-record everything on the inside of the camera by one of these micro SD cards, which you have to buy yourself, by the way, and it holds up to 128 gig, and it continually loops. So you can leave the SD card in there and it will just write over various bits and bobs. Now, I've had this camera going for some time. Now you can see me recording this right now on the blower, and by the touch of a button you can record on your phone what's going on, and you can have a conversation with a fella. Hello. 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 It's not great on the boat with the phone because there's too much feedback, but you can have a conversation with the person who's on the boat, which is not a bad thing. You can set off an alarm. It's not anything ear piercing, but it does alarm, and it does provide sufficient, oh, there's something going on. And the notifications when something crosses that sensor, it takes about 10 seconds. Is that a long time? Well, I think it depends on where you're moored and how much Wi-Fi you've got. And I went to an area where it was poor Wi-Fi. It still worked, by the way, but it did take a little bit longer to come through on the phone. So the camera's on at this moment in time, so I'm going to move, and then we'll see how long it actually takes to come through. That's not bad, but I'm in a good whiffy spot here with good communications with the outside world as far as technology is concerned. So actually that's not too bad. Now, as soon as I get that alert message, a short period of time of which this is live recording and you can see what's going on, I actually think that's very good. Now from here you can record straight away, so you've not only got it on the camera but you've also got it on your phone. Great, actually very good indeed. And you can also have a conversation with a fella. Hello. Hello. But of a click of a button, so you can have, if you push clip on the bottom screen, you can, it's almost like you zoom in. So then you've got clear visuals, and then you can take a photo of that for prosperity reasons and to pass on to 5-0, Steve McGarrett and his team, Juliet Bravo. But it's all about sighting, it's all about position. and it's all about where you put the camera, because it does say on the instructions it needs to be about 3 meters high, well, difficult on a narrowboat, and set at an oblique angle. But also, if you've got a point of entry, then it needs to be close enough to the point of entry, whether it be the back door or the side doors, that you can see. It does a good job. I've used the camera without it being charged or whatever like that for 36 hours, and it's used 13% of its battery power. And I've been living on the boat, and these things have been recording and all that sort of stuff. I've also, when it was at 90% with a little bit of sunlight, by using the solar panel, it charged up. I was quite surprised, in about half hour, job done. But if you have the solar panel, great idea, keeps the battery charged up. On a narrowboat, quite difficult, because I'm not going to fix it to the hull, because that's another 3 holes I've put in my hull. But I do lean it at angles, absolutely works perfectly. If I was going away, it would last at least a week. You can turn the motion sensor thing off on the phone, so it doesn't go off all the time, which is a great thing. And also you can control the sensitivity of the motion thingy from 100% to 0%. But if you have pets, you can reduce that. You can share the camera with another phone, so if you're busy, then somebody else can have a look in. It was by chance Reolink got in touch with me, and I'm pleased they have. If you're looking for a security system, why not consider Reolink? I've been in the security business for a considerable amount of time, so I know exactly what I wanted, and Reolink produces. I class it, when you set up the system, I class it like Apple. It just works. And basically that's it. Brilliant. Kingfisher whiz by. Love this mooring spot. It's serenity, very little foot traffic, but it's such a lovely location. The only disadvantage, and it's a first world issue, Wi-Fi. Poor internet connection, but other than that, do you know what a lovely spot. So where is it, you're going to ask? Blackjacks. and I'm on my own for a little bit. Dan is spending some time with his other half, and I need to move on because I found a mooring spot, not a particularly good one, but I found a mooring spot at Uxbridge. Remember that soundtrack, Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds, and you had the late great Richard Burton, fantastic narrator. He's got that deep voice, the red weed. And here we've got the Grand Union's greenweed. We're heading into greenweed country. I'd like to do a rendition of Richard Burton, but I don't think my voice is deep enough. Nor Welsh. Oh, what do I think about when I'm on these canals, when I'm doing these journeys? It is pretty much, particularly when I'm journeying, off the cuff. My mind wanders all over the place. The canals make me think of different things. Don't know. We don't know what's around the corner, do we? So I don't know what I'm going to say. And as I've got nothing to say, I'll see you in a bit. I know there's been a lot of people that have had a lot of bad things happened in their life, and someone walking on the roof is hardly anything to write home about, and actually it's not, so I'm not making a big scene of it. I'm just talking to you because it kind of ran in line with this security Reolink thing, but it's the way it happens. It's happened to me. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, those of you that have, and if you haven't subscribed, give it a go because it actually helps me out. If you subscribe and like, comment, things like that. But I'll leave you with a time lapse, which is one of these things you can do on the Reolink cameras. Ciao, Papa.